Hello, fishermen and friends. My name's Jim Thompson. I'm with Central Pro-Am Fishing here in Branson, Missouri. Today I've got the high honor of sitting with my good friend David Barker. He lives out in Hollister here, and welcome, Dave. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you, Jim.
Now you got to talk loud, buddy. Yeah.
It was kind of hard to get here this morning. We only got about 8 or 10 inches of snow. So
I know we're sitting here talking about fishing, and it's snowing so hard you can't see. Yeah, I can't believe you're out and about in this stuff.
I don't believe
Yeah.
there's a single ramp on Table Rock that's open today. So there's nothing else to do but talk.
Now, aren't we going to go ahead and go fishing when we're done here?
I might.
Okay. Hey, I want to ask you a few questions, Dave. What's your favorite lake that you fish?
Well, I like Table Rock awful well. Truman used to be my favorite lake, but the last few years it's kind of let me down a few times. It seemed like the population of fish in Truman has decreased over the last 6 or 7 years to what it used to be. Now, it may not be that, but from my way of fishing, it seems like that the population is less than it used to be.
Makes sense. I spoke to somebody this morning. They were talking about Truman and how the weights were down, and tournament directors hesitate to go there because of that, and you can't catch fish.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of big fish in Truman, but you don't catch a lot of. If you get 5 or 6, 10 bites a day, you may catch 17 or 18 pounds. But it's hard to get those 6 or 7 or 8 bites in a day's time.
Sure.
A lot of times.
Sure. When did you start fishing Central Pro-Am, Dave? Because you're the Central Pro-Am leading money winner of all time. When did you start fishing it?
Started in '91.
So that's a couple of years after Jim Akins and the group set up there and formed Central Pro-Am. Probably you started when Ernie was running it, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Because Jim Akins and a group got together up in Nixon, formed it, and then Ernie come on board and took it over.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was after Ernie was
Okay.
running the show whenever I came on board.
Okay. Now, did you start winning money right away, or did you have to pay your dues for a while?
Well, the first tournament I fished was on Beaver Lake, and in that tournament I got 6th place. And then I had to miss a couple of tournaments. We had a trip planned to go to Europe, my wife and I, and so I missed 2 or 3 tournaments, and then I fished a tournament on Bull Shoals, and I tied for first place with Clayton Douglas. And so I got off to a good start in Central Pro-Am, and it's been a really good tournament for me to fish.
So you did start winning right away.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I was in the money several times. I know one time Ernie asked a couple of my friends, he said, "Who is that old man?"
Were you old back then?
Yeah,
When
I've
okay.
always been
You
old.
started out old.
I started out old and not getting any better, for sure.
What lure have you won the most money on, Dave?
Probably a plastic worm.
Okay.
Overall, it's probably a plastic worm.
And I know you used to use the, it's no secret, the plum.
Yeah, that Jean LaRue plum
Jean LaRue
worm.
plum worm.
That 7-inch hook tail worm. They call it curly tail worm.
You found out I had 500 of them. You offered me $5,000 for them, and I wouldn't sell them.
I would give quite a bit for them.
Oh, I'll take a
bunch of
check.
good ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, a lot of people know that you fish a wiggle wart too, Dave. And about everybody that talks about it say you're the best with the wiggle wart, and I've experienced it. I've had a spanking or two in the boat with you. Why do you catch more fish on a wiggle wart than most people?
Well, I don't know that I catch more than most people, but it's one of those baits that I really, really like and really enjoy fishing. And there's something about a wiggle wart that is, it's a rhythm bait, and if you get the rhythm, your rhythm and the wiggle wart's rhythm tuned together where the way the fish want it, you can almost predict your bites. You can almost feel what's going on. Several times when I've been fishing with my partner, I've told him to get the net before I ever set the hook, because I could feel the fish when you're real tuned in that much on that bait. And I don't know how to explain it. It's just one of those things you have to experience. But when you're tuned in that close on it, you can tell, especially a big fish, when he's getting close to it.
I'll be darned. So that's called being in the zone, is what it's called, or
Well,
being in Dave Barker's zone. Yeah.
There's times when I've been on a wiggle wart bite when it's been a pattern that was really, really good, but a lot of times there's a pattern within a pattern. And when you get on that wigglewort in the pattern within the pattern, it's something. It really, really is. You can look up the shoreline and say, I'll catch one there, I'll catch one there, I'll catch one there.
Okay. Now, we're gonna, I wanna have you come back several times this year, Dave, so, and I really appreciate your time. You and Trudy are out on a day today that's not fit for man nor beast, but here we are. What's your prediction on the weights that it's gonna take to win Table Rock Lake Tournament coming up March 5th and 6th?
5th and 6th, if we have a little warming trend, and we should have, here we are the first part of February, and almost always we have a couple of warming weeks in February, and if that's normal, where we get a little bit of rise in the temperature, we'll have some really good weights. I'd be surprised if it didn't take in the mid-30s or so. I'm not 30s, but one day, I was thinking a two-day tournament, one-day tournament, 17 to 21, 22 pounds, somewhere in that neighborhood to win, for sure.
Okay.
And if the weather turns good, where the big fish really are starting to move a little bit, it'll take quite a bit more than that.
Okay. What kind of lures do you think they'll be caught on, or which bait in particular, and what area of the lake?
Well, again, it'll go to the weather conditions. If it warms up a little bit, after this spell we're having now, we're probably going to get a lake temperature down to about 44, 43, maybe something like that after this week. So we got plenty of time to get the temperature up to 46, 47 degrees.
Okay.
And if we have a warming trend where the water is warming up a little bit, not just stable, but where it's 45, 46, and on a warming trend, I'll catch my fish on a wigglewort.
Okay.
And there'll be a lot of fish caught on a wigglewort. If the water temperature is 45 plus, there'll be some fish. If it's warming, there'll be lots of fish caught on a wigglewort and a jig, and of course a stick bait this time of year. Jerk bait's always a good choice and a good bait, and it'll catch a lot of fish.
Okay.
But I think that if the water temperature's in that 45 to 47 range, warming, I can catch more fish. I won't catch as many big fish as the guys who are good jerk bait fishermen are, but I'll catch enough fish I can cull up and do real good in the tournament because of that.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, buddy. I hope you have a great tournament, March 5th and 6th.
Oh, I will.
And
you can count on it.
I think you will. You want to thank your sponsors?
Oh, yeah. I've got some really good sponsors. Lucky Strike USA is one of my real good sponsors, and Nitro Boats, Bass Pro Shops. Mustad Hooks have been one of my sponsors ever since I started, and since probably about 95. Mustad Hooks has been a really good sponsor of mine. Pro Guide Batteries has been a really good sponsor, and I appreciate all the things that they do. And it's been without some good sponsors, it's more difficult. It's even getting more difficult with the economic situation as it is today. And if a guy has got some good sponsors, he needs to really take care of them and do all he can to help them out.
Well, you're one of the finest sponsor representatives that we know, Dave, and all the sponsors are glad to have you, and that's why you're successful. So,
well, I appreciate that very much.
You keep on doing what you're doing, buddy, and keep on winning money.
Well, I'll be trying to do that for sure.
And I'll see you at the stage on Table Rock Lake, March 5th and 6th.
You can count on it.
Thank you, sir. Good job. Okay.